Okay, so today,
Is there a stapler?
somewhere over there.
Carly, can you put this in there? Thank you.
Okay, we're going to talk about the derivative of trig functions. Okay, so we haven't talked about derivatives of sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent yet. So, do I expect you to memorize all of them? No. But I do expect you to memorize 3 of them. Yes, those are the 3. So, the derivative of sine is cosine. The derivative of sine is cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to that. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. Okay? Our derivative of sine is cosine. Derivative of cosine is negative sine. The derivative of tangent is secant squared. Derivative of tangent is secant squared.
Secant squared x?
Yes, secant squared x. So secant squared of whatever function you're talking about. Alright, any questions? So these are the 3 I expect you guys to memorize. The other 3 I expect you guys to be able to deal with. Yeah?
Is it secant squared x or secant x squared?
Secant squared x.
Okay.
So it's
Square
secant
applies
x,
to whatever-
secant x.
So the squared applies to whatever that is, right? So secant of x squared. So the
Secant of x times secant of x is what this is saying.
Oh.
So it's 2 secants. I don't know, that's just the way they write it. Yep. Oh, and so I found out yesterday at my stupid professional development that I didn't learn from the professional development. I was looking through the pre-cal book. You guys didn't learn what an inflection point is yet. I thought you guys learned that in pre-cal. So one day we were talking about it. You guys asked me what it was. And I was just surprised because I thought you guys learned it. Same thing with concavity. Apparently you guys don't know it yet.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys will learn it in, I think, chapter 4 or 5. But I thought you guys learned it in pre-cal. So that's why I used it. Yeah. I think it's like 8 or 10. 8 or 9, I mean. Something like that. We don't do the whole book. Cosecants is negative cosecant times cotangent. So the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant and cotangent. So I actually don't expect you guys to memorize these, but you should be able to figure them out. How would you figure out cosecant? What is cosecant, first of all?
1 over sine.
Exactly, it's 1 over sine. And you know how to take the derivative of 1 over sine. You do the quotient rule.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that's how you get it. But if you can memorize it, it's faster. But I don't expect you guys to memorize it. Yes, negative cosecant times cotangent. The derivative of secant x is secant x times tangent x. The derivative of secant x is secant x times tangent x. And the last one, the derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared x. Alright. Oh, did you get it? Okay. Alright. First 3, I do expect you guys to memorize.
No, it's not like 98. It's at 98.
Just check. And the last one would it be? Would it just be positive?
No,
Or negative?
because it's negative. Wait, that's a good question. So, what's being squared? Is it negative cosecant x being squared, or is it cosecant squared being, or cosecant being squared? Cosecant. So it's negative cosecant times cosecant. So no, it's not positive.
Okay. So
The negative's on the outside. You square it first, and then it's negative.
Got it.
Stop eating all my cookies. Did you stack them?
Yeah. 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Sir, for this one.
No.
No.
All right. Anyone still comments down? Any questions here? Good. Find the derivative of x squared sine of x. So what's going on between x squared and sine of x? What operation? Yeah, it's multiplication. Okay, it's multiplication. So if you're multiplying and we're taking the derivative of something, what rule do you think you should be using? Product rule. Okay. So we have x squared times the derivative of sine x, which is cosine x, plus the derivative of, plus sine x times the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. So go ahead and write that down. Product rule.
So wait.
So the derivative is just 2x?
Yes. Okay, so here we go. Let me explain this again. So we're multiplying these two things. That's u, that's v. So we have x squared times the derivative of sine x, which is cosine x, plus the derivative of x squared, which is 2x times sine x. So it's just the product rule. How would you simplify that? That's it. Any questions there? Okay, try that.
Yeah, like
What rule do you think you're going to have to use? Yeah, we'll start there. Anyone not get any animal crackers?
I do. Hey, we finished another one.
There's a couple of them left, plus a bunch of crumbs.
I like a cup.
What?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we got that on camera.
I guess I don't like
You just put up the R.
I know.
No big deal.
Stay away from me. You have your I have no idea what to talk about, but I'm assuming I'm right. Yes.
Okay, if you forgot what the quotient rule is, remember low D high minus high D low, all over low squared. Okay, once you're done, if you haven't checked your phone yet, just make sure you got that text. That should be everyone, since no one's on their phone as I'm teaching, right?
Oh, I already got it.
I don't have a phone.
I don't have to know.
Anyone still working on this? Okay, let's try this. Raise your hand if you're still working on this. Raise your hand if you're done. Let's try this again. Hopefully, by the end of the year, you guys will be able to do it on the first try. Raise your hand if you're still working on this. Those are the people that messed up. Okay, keep working. You're messed up anyway.
Simplify that.
No.
Stop laughing at me.
You want to simplify?
If you were to multiply these together, is it
God.
cosine?
Yes. No, it's just cosine squared, not x squared.
Oh wait.
Wait, isn't this supposed to be cosine x?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, no, it's not.
It's supposed to cancel out, dude.
Okay, so who wants to go up there and write this?
I volunteer Jackie.
Okay, Athena, go ahead.
Oh my god, that's not true.
Yeah? Yep.
Negative cosine x.
Should be negative cosine x.
For the last one,
All
negative.
right.
Yeah, yeah, negative cosine x.
Let it go.
What was that?
Brownie boy.
Okay.
Yeah, why is
the
it
second
one? Because it was
Because
negative sine
It's a
squared.
negative sign. So the derivative of sine is cosine, right? But it's negative already, so it's negative cosine.
Yeah, but this is negative.
Yeah, but
Oh, wait.
that's negative. That's
I feel really upset having this.
Don't.
I know.
I can't see. I know.
You're just saying that
Why do you feel like you're not?
you are the best now.
I know.
Come down, man.
What? You're the best around.
This was one for the boys. System. It was like top down AC, man. The cool system.
Dude, that doesn't.
United system.
Wait, what the heck? She sucks. She sucks.
This guy was like in the.
Oh, at lunch?
Yeah, well, yeah, like.
When I was dancing with him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
But there was like a guy who was
that's-
actually dressed up in like
really?
his freshman.
They danced yesterday for the second too.
My Little Pony dude.
No.
Yeah.
I told you it was for the kids.
Alright, let's look at this.
Give you a
Okay,
won't be
that's
sine.
good.
No, it's 1 minus sine.
So,
Negative sine x plus sine.
okay, listen up. It says low d high, so low times the derivative of cosine negative sine x minus high times the derivative of low, so the derivative of 1 is nothing, or 0, times the derivative of negative sine will give you negative cosine, all over low squared. Okay, so that looks okay. When you distribute this,
That should be squared. That should be squared. Yeah.
you distribute this,
It should be squared on his ass.
so it's going to be
So you said I was wrong. You said I was
negative sine of x, listen up, plus sine squared x, plus cosine squared x.
Minus.
No.
This is a negative.
So I like how you did that.
1 minus sine of x
Oh yeah.
squared.
Okay.
It's plus, because it's two negatives.
Yeah.
Negative cosine times negative cosine. Alright,
Oh.
And that's it.
Don't you distribute
distribute the what?
the negative?
The negative ends up being positive.
The negative, okay, so you don't distribute it to everything because you're not adding these two. You're multiplying. So let's say negative x times y. Is that the same thing as negative x times negative y? No, right? So it's just there. Okay, let's see, is that it?
Yeah.
You simplify it anymore?
That's it. No, that's it.
Okay. Alright, that's what Jackie says. Okay, that's it then, I guess. You distribute this. So negative sine x times 1, negative sine x times negative sine x.
Wait, isn't sine square plus cosine square equals to 1 or something like that?
Put that down.
I think so.
Yeah, so you can just.
Yeah, that is it. Okay. So
No. It's the Bohemian.
sine squared x plus cosine squared x is a trig identity. What's that equal to? For those in
Apparently to
pre-cal,
1.
it's going to be 1. So it's plus 1
Minus.
over 1 minus sine x. Alright, so then we can simplify this some more. Right, and this is the same thing as one of these.
You're welcome.
So that will cancel out, and then it's 1 over that. It's a good catch.
Is that right?
No, because I wasn't wrong.
I'll just do it.
That is wrong.
Just rounding point.
Because you didn't simplify it.
Where did it say simplify? It just says find the derivative. I did that. I just didn't simplify it.
But where'd you get?
Are you saying 2/4 is not the same thing as 1/2? No. It's not wrong. It's just not simplified.
Different numbers.
Yeah? Okay, any questions there? This is a trig identity.
Yeah. I don't know, you can get it plugged in.
No, they're really scary. I want to like lock it.
No, it's here.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you want to turn it off?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Anyone wants to call me down? Okay, we gotta go over one more thing.
Charging is not supported with this accessory. Apologies.
Is it still charging?
I don't.
Find the equations of a line. Listen up. Find the equations for the lines that are tangent and normal to the graph of that function. So you're going to see an example like this pretty much in every section. Okay, so hopefully you're able to write tangent lines and normal lines now. The only thing new about it is the type of function that you're given. Are you done copying this? In it? Okay. Okay, so if we need to write equations for tangent lines and normal lines, what do we need? We need slope. Good. And what is slope? The derivative. Okay, so the derivative is the slope of something. Alright, so we need to find the derivative of tangent x over x. Go ahead and find the derivative of tangent x over x. The derivative of tangent x is... Nope. Secant squared x. Don't guess. Look in your notes.
Yeah.
Gradients.
X.
Alright, so you do the quotient rule. So low d high. So x times the derivative of tangent x is secant squared x minus high d low. Tangent x times the derivative of x is just 1. That's why there's nothing there except that tangent. All over low squared, so x squared. Any questions there?
I wrote secant squared x squared. Right?
It's wrong. Yeah, because you can't take the x and multiply it in there. Are you saying 2 cosine of, I don't know, 3 is equal to cosine of 6? These are the same. They're numbers. Okay? You're saying that is the same thing as that? No. No. Because you have to take the function of this and then multiply by 2. So this is whatever number times 2. This is just cosine of 4. It's going to give you two different things. So you cannot multiply them. Okay. Any questions with this so far? So now we can plug in 2. And then this you would use your calculator for. Okay, and then secant, you can't plug into your calculator really. Right, so you really have to plug it in like this. So make sure you use parentheses in the correct places. So I would open up 2 sets of parentheses. So I'd probably plug it in like this. Parentheses, parentheses, 2, divided by, open parentheses again, cosine of 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, no. Cosine of 2 times cosine of 2, close parentheses, close parentheses, minus tangent of 4, 2, close parentheses, and then divide by 4. Is how I would enter that. If you were to try to put it in one thing. If not, you can split them into different parts. But you should get 3.433.
Get on my word.
Nope.
Make sure you can get this number.
Because I registered 2 years incorrectly, so I texted at 669 to the person. And then I guess that was Mrs. Jones, so she says don't forget your blonde.
I wonder how you leave the group.
I got 0.4.
She's just gonna be texting you all the time.
I wonder if she like looks at who's registered to hers, and she's gonna be like, oh no, who's that in my class?
Maybe. I should probably check mine once in a while. Alright, any questions here?
You should call her.
I don't know who that is. Who is Miss Jones? Jones is probably one of the most common names ever.
She's not from the school?
No, this is like a app for all of America. Okay, so anyway, so this was the original problem. What did we just find? The slope, right? So I'm going to figure out y by plugging 2 into x to figure out what my y coordinate is. So here's my x and y coordinate.
Good afternoon, pirates. Principal Miss Ranger. I would like
And there's our slope.
the raffle
Oh, I got it.
So there's your equation. Go ahead and plug it in.
Sheena and Emily Fishbaugh, please come to the principal's
Solve for B.
office after school to claim your
That's gotta be
$25
rigged.
movie pass. Thank you.
And we have hello.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Chang,
Yeah.
where'd you get the Y from?
You plug 2 into x. And then you calculate it. Right, because this is the same thing as y is equal to this. Okay, so you should get that as your equation. And then a normal line, what do we know about the normal line? Yeah, the slope is negative reciprocal. So that means our slope is that right there. Use your calculator, solve for b. There's your answer for the normal line. tangent. Okay, but this slide you should be able to do anyway. You've done this a bunch of times. Write your equation for tangent, write your equation for normal. Okay. Here's your assignment.
Like in it, but can you go back to it?
Yeah.
So it's Friday, huh?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Today is Friday. Page 146, number 1 to 10, and then number 21.
You can text it, right?
No? Oh, I can't text pictures though.
Just text that.
Why don't you just write it down?
That's the whole point of the text.
No, the point of the text is if I can't tell you something in class, because I forgot, or something comes up before the next class.
You text like your whole like lessons, like oh, I forgot.
Write it down. Okay then.
Oh, can you hear my phone back?
Oh, it's a charge.
Thank you.
No, I mean,
Go back to the homework. Go back to the homework. Thank you.
Pay attention.